Welcome back to Eurosport's Triathlon Special. We've seen the European Championships from Yuma for this year. We saw the highlights of last year's long distance championships from Nice, and this is what we've been waiting for. This is highlights from this year's. In fact, earlier today, this took place in Nice on the Côte d'Azur, on the Promenade des Anglais, Nice 95. The 1995 International Triathlon Union, the world governing body's long-distance world championships. 4 kilometers of swimming, 120 kilometers of biking, and 30 kilometers of running to finish. And if ever there was a race with a favorite, this was it. Britain's Simon Lessing certainly started this race as the favorite. He lives just up the road at Salon, and this was his aim for this year. He won the professional championships in mountain man, and he said, I'm going to win the long distance world championships in Nice, and then I'm going to go to Cancun. My goal is to win those as well. So I want to have 3 titles during 1995. A little ambitious. Well, he's got one. This is his second one. Let's see how he does. We've got something like 1,700 athletes competing here today in Nice. And everyone is waiting to see how the Sun Prince, Yves Cordier, gets on. A couple of German women here. That's Brigitte Seitar on the right and Heike Feckmeier, had that puncher in Yuma on the left. Looks like Didier Volcott just down the road there. So they're just waiting for the opening 4-kilometer swim. And you can see the weather is much better than last year. It's certainly just about ideal conditions. There's the Sun Prince, Yves Cordier. 24 degrees centigrade, air temperature, water temperature, 18 degrees centigrade. So wetsuits are allowed, and the first wave is going to be the men's elite, both individual and team, and some 30 seconds later there's Simon Lessing, the favorite. Some 30 seconds later the women. So this is the men getting underway on the opening swim. Something like about 100 competitors in that opening wave, and a very select 30 or so in the second wave of the women. This is the women's race, and there's not really a clear favorite in the women's race today. Many of the athletes, although Ines Eshtet is here, that girl who went 8:56 as we saw at Yuma, so she must start as one of the favorites. But most of the good or the better women, and indeed most of the better men, although of course Simon Lessing is no slouch, but he's not recognized over the long distance. Most of the better men, and they're all preparing for the Nice Hawaii Ironman next weekend. But this is the masses. 1,700 athletes jump into the Mediterranean here on the Côte d'Azur. This is the sight for me. I've always thought this was the best start in the sport. And straight away, it's the Sun Prince, Yves Cordier, the local favorite from Nice, the homeboy. He's taken the lead. Behind him, we've got Simon Lessing's also up there. South African Konrad Stolz is in contention, I understand. The Swiss athlete, Peter Adler, he's also there. As is the American Jimmy Riccatello. What a sight, that's the first boy. That's 500 meters out under the course. They turn right here and they go down for about a couple of kilometers and then turn around and then another 2.3 kilometers along the beach. So this is the pack. That's Konrad Stolz on the back end. Peter Adler, Jimmy Riccatello, and Peter Parot, the Belgian's also there. Pierre Uzo is also in contention. Eric Lacoste, so the French are certainly in force, with Yves Cordier still leading. Craig Watson, the Australian, is just there, as is Simon Lessing. So leading at the moment, it is Yves Cordier, just coming around the final buoy, with Simon Lessing right on his heels. This is Cordier and Lessing. So Lessing has certainly got himself in the right position if he's going to win this race. Cordier has been trying to win this race for years. He's never succeeded. Best was, what, second? Quite a few years ago, back in 1992. Of course, he finished third in last year's Nice Championships, Long Distance World Championship, which we saw earlier. But this is Cordier coming up towards the end of this opening 4-kilometer swim. Right on his tail is Simon Lessing from Great Britain. the 24-year-old Brit, of course, born in South Africa. Mother's Britain, and for the last 5 years or so, he's been racing for Great Britain, and how successful he's been. Won those World Championships up in Muskoka when Spencer Smith won, there he is, won the World Junior Championships. He was second to Smith in '93 in Manchester. He didn't race in New Zealand, but of course he was the professional champion last year and indeed this year. This is Cordier. He's heading down the Promenade des Anglais before he starts a climb, a classic climb here into the Alpes Maritimes. Lessing now. Talking to him before the race, he said he's got to make a decision whether he's going to go with Cordier or race his own race and hope that he's strong enough on the final round. This is pretty good. Scheitar, first woman out of the water, 52 minutes or so. Cordier's time, by the way, was 48 minutes and 17 seconds. They gave Lessing 48 minutes and 18 seconds. But this is Cordier. This is the sun god now. He's up into the Alpes Maritimes, and what a bike ride this is. They gradually climb up through some beautiful villages, up through Boyon, before they head out on the peak. And then a fast descent down into Roquestron. This is Lessing now. He's starting his climb, heading out after Cordier. And it looks as though he said, well, I'll let Cordier do the business early on and hang in. So Cordier, he's got it all to himself at the moment. You can see Cordier here. I think we've got a glimpse of Lessing, some 200 or 300 meters back down the road. But certainly Cordier's got some protection here from all these motorbike riders. Ideal position to get away from this man, Lessing. It was about here last year that Simon had that disaster. So here we are. This is the lead woman. It looks it's Heike Feckmeyer's taken over from Brigitte Scheitar, so I'm not too surprised there. She certainly showed some great form on the bike at the European Long Distance Championships at Yuma, and she's certainly doing that again today here at Nice. So it's Feckmeyer for the women, and for the men, it's still Yves Cordier. This looks like it's one of the beautiful villages, Boyon, I think. This is Cordier now, coming up towards the top of the climb, and now it's a sharp left turn and the descent. Go along the top of this, well, it really is the classic bike course. This is Lessing in second place. Will not be far behind him. There's a huge pack forming. He's going to have some company fairly soon. But this is Cordier still leading. Here we are. He's on the descent now into Roquestron. But it's still the Frenchman, Cordier. Yves Cordier first. Love to win this race. Simon Lessing of Great Britain second. Problem is with Cordier, is his body going to hold up? He's beaten it to death over the years, and he's always managed to bike well here. This is his bike course. He trains, he rides on this course just about every day of the year, so he's certainly no stranger as he comes now across the bridge at Roquestron. Here he is. This is the man of the moment. It is Yves Cordier. He's certainly looking fairly comfortable at the moment. It's a real roller coaster affair, and he's got company, and the company is, well, this is a surprise to me. It looks like this is Olaf Rennicke, a German, a virtually unknown German to me. I was told he was in the German team. I was told he was a pretty good biker. I didn't know he was this good, though. As Didier Volkart is also up there, so Cordier really does have company here. Lessing is also on the back end of this pack, as is Philippe Metillon. Pierre Houzeau is also in there. Luc Van Leer, number 26 there, with the purple and red trunks. For bike shorts. Rennicke's also there. Volkart, Cordier. Well, there's a whole gaggle of them, isn't there? This is Lessing. They're having a nice chat. By the way, drafting isn't allowed in this race. I don't know where the marshals are. It's like Metillon. That's Philippe Metillon in the back end. Right, and what they're going to do about this? You can see, I'm not sure whether they're too legal. I wasn't told that drafting was allowed, but it's certainly room. That's Volkart on the front end. Cordier, Lessing. Metillon is there. Pierre Lacaze going through. Oh, it looks like Peter Reid of Canada is also there, but making a break. Well, this looks like Metillon has made the break. He's got away from that pack. He's on the climb back up towards Gillette. This is the lead woman, and it's Jenny Rose from New Zealand, 152. She's taken the lead. She's gone past Feckmeyer. Schaefer's also up there in contention. Ines Hested is back in about fourth position, we understand. But this is the lead pack. Oh, we heard some whistles there. Perhaps the marshal's going to do something about it. But Metillon, he's hoping that marshal does break the pack up because he wants to get the biggest advantage he can. but I don't think he's going to get much of an advantage. They're all coming back down the Promenade des Anglais now. Métillon is near the transition. This is Lessing on the lead of that pack, but it's Métillon just coming in now. Total race time, 3 hours, 46 minutes roundabout for Métillon, as Lessing and Cordier et al. Come in the pack behind him. So it's the final change and the final 30-kilometer run. They've changed it again this year. I understand it's 2 laps of 15 kilometers, making up the 30 kilometers. So that's the pack behind as Métillon goes on his way. Colcart's in there. Lacaze, Lessing. This is Cordier going out. Looks like Cordier's had the better change in the transition. He's out in second place. Huge support. Now I think he's out in third position. This is Métillon though. He's still leading. Question is, can he hold up? He's certainly had some good performances over the shorter distance, so he certainly has the speed, but does he have the endurance? So the Frenchman, Métillon, behind Cordier. That was Peter Reid, I think, on the front end. Also in there, Van Leerd was there, Lessing was still there, and Lessing made his move. He got away from the pack, and it looks as though he's going to catch Métillon. They're about 8 kilometers, they're only 5 miles into this course. So 30 kilometers, 8 kilometers gone, and Lessing has taken the lead. He said, I'm going to win this race. Well, he's certainly doing everything right at the moment. He did the right thing on the bike. He stayed in contention with Cordier, sat and bided his time within the pack, and now, as he comes up towards the end of the first lap, he is in the lead. Métillon, he's still second, but he's got company behind. This is Lessing around the turn. Now he heads back, and there's another loop. Looks like Luc Van Leerd is going past Métillon. So it's Lessing for Great Britain, Luc Van Leerd for Belgium, and Métillon for France at the moment. Well, can Métillon hang on to the podium position? Well, isn't this nice? That's Yves Cordier. He's down in about 6th position, 7th position. He says, come on, Simon, keep it going. They're great friends. They train together. Friend of mine, Lessing, only lives just up the road in Salon. Luc Van Leerd, he's got away from Métillon, and Métillon, in fact, has got company. The Canadian Peter Reid is catching Métillon. But this is Lessing. He's on the homeward bound, just this final turn, and then it's back to the finish to be the world champion for the second time. Of course, he's never been world champion over the long distance. He was the world champion over the short distance, the Olympic distance at Muskoka. But his second world title, the 1995 world champion long distance, Simon Lessing from Great Britain. 5 hours, 46 minutes and 17 seconds they've given him. Great performance by the 24-year-old Brit. In second place, well, it's Luc Van Leerd. 5 hours, 48 minutes and 24 seconds for him. Peter Reid, the Canadian, and we'll see him, I think, finishing in third. 5 hours, 51 minutes and 18 seconds. But for the woman, well, it was Jenny Rose. She comes home first. We just get a glimpse. I'm being quick because our program finishes very short. This is her, Jenny Rose first, Uta Schaefer second, and Ines Hested third. Well, I hope you enjoyed Nice. Ian Sweet, wishing you well. See you next time.